What's up, baseball family? Welcome to our Thursday Night Live. We're thrilled to have you here. How are you, Mr. Bradman?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you, Mr. Brig?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing
Good.
just fine.
Glad to hear it. Hey, I learned something new tonight, and I wanted to
Okay.
share it with you and the baseball family. I was debating waiting until I got to your house in a week and a half and being like, hey, Brig, check it out. But I have a couple words for you. Air fryer hot dogs.
Listen, this is news to me, but it needs to not be very soon.
We did it for the first time ever for dinner tonight, and it was outstanding.
You're kidding.
And granted, you have a grill, and we do not. But nonetheless, it's way faster. It's like 6 minutes. 6 minutes, Brig.
Everything's faster in the air fryer. Yeah, that's true. We have one, so we can experiment with this. It'll be just fine.
Yeah,
fabulous.
I'll teach you how.
Show me the way. Baseball family, name that artist. Okay, put in the doobly-doo. All right, first things first tonight. Ippei Mizuhara. He is the translator for Shohei Ohtani.
Former.
Let's emphasize former. He pled guilty to 2 counts. 1 count, bank fraud, which is a maximum sentence of up to 30 years in prison. And 1 count, subscribing to a false tax return, which is another 3 years, up to 3 years in prison. Both are considered federal crimes and will result in federal prison term should he and when he becomes sentenced. Because if you plead guilty, there's a good chance you're going to jail.
So he has not yet. He has not yet.
He has not yet pled guilty?
Not yet. May 14th will be the day.
Okay,
so
May 14th.
2 days away. But he's going.
All right, yeah, he's going to that's the plan right now then, to plead guilty.
Yeah. Yeah, but
there is a plea agreement.
Yeah, go ahead with the plea agreement, because typically, like, you can expect, I mean, based on like my experience watching Law and Order, right? that if you reach a plea agreement and you don't make the system fight you, then you can get a lesser sentence. Possibly.
That's what I've heard.
But I don't know. We'll see.
So the plea agreement, as far as we're aware, requires restitution of nearly $17 million to Shohei Ohtani, $1 million to the IRS, which could change prior to sentencing. The arraignment, as Brad has let us know, the arraignment is May 14th, which is where he'll enter his plea. So some added info that might make this more clear. He helped Ohtani set up a bank account in 2018. Makes a lot of sense. But that's when he started stealing from it in 2021. So he had access to the information because he helped the guy set up the bank account.
Well, he's probably on there as like a, I don't know what you call him, but
like a power of attorney or something.
Basically, yeah, something like that. He might have been like a co-signer on the account because Ohtani's like, you speak better English than I do, so why don't you help with my bank? That way you can help with my banking and things like that. And I think that makes more sense than my initial, like, buddy had access to a phone, right? Like,
or both.
I feel like, yeah, well, because I mean, continue reading, and that kind of adds up more too.
Yeah, you tell us, Brad. What does it say?
So, at one point, he changed security protocols so the emails and phone calls came to him instead of Ohtani to verify wire transfers. Very convenient. And he even impersonated Ohtani at the bank 24 times. They had a count 24 times.
Okay, but you got to be seriously living under a rock not to say, I don't think you're Shohei Ohtani.
Right. And maybe he just like walked in with an Angel's hat and he's like, yeah, I'm Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah,
maybe. They're like, yeah, he looks like him.
The 2020s equivalent of a mustache and sunglasses with a big nose attack, right? Like,
right.
So silly.
Yeah,
oh my word,
it's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Like, the big question I had though, Brig, like after seeing this, like we had somebody in the YouTube comments, or no, it was TikTok comments, was saying that Ohtani shouldn't even be playing while the investigation is going on. But my thing was like, Mizuhara is pleading guilty to this. He's admitted to it. He said exactly everything he did to Ohtani. Like, does this right here paint more of a picture to get people off of Ohtani's back for this whole thing? Because there are still jokes going around about Ohtani taking the over, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it probably won't ever go away because it was a thing. But is this almost like vindication to like be done with it?
Well, okay. I still think you're going to have your people out there who are going to say too much smoke. It's got to be fire. I'm not buying it. This is a really easy patsy. Let's sell this guy up the river, protect the image, protect the brand.
Well, because
the
you
man.
could say he's going to make however many millions of dollars over 30 years or in 30 years when he gets out.
Yeah.
Right. Like there are people who are probably going to say that he's getting
I'm
paid
just saying
to be the
it's
fall guy. Right.
right. If you call this guy a patsy, a fall guy,
yeah,
and you just leverage this part of the storyline and make it the loudest part of the storyline, which is what has happened. Not very many people are talking about Ohtani anymore in that way. We're all focused on just the outrageously successful season he's already started.
Yeah.
So that's why I think if people, they're going to believe whatever they want to believe. And in this situation, there's no change in people's minds. I think if they've chosen to believe Ohtani is guilty, I don't think there's any amount of evidence or data that's going to break their opinion on that. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think you're right. Unfortunately, that there are people who are just going to say he did what he did and refuse to believe all evidence to the contrary.
Yeah, that's what I think. So, whatever. Baseball family, tell us what you think, though. Like, seriously, jump in the comments. We want to know, which side of this do you fall on? Because I don't think it's irrational to say that this is some level of deliberate deception going on. It's not out of the question. It's just not. I think that there's plenty of evidence to support that Shohei Ohtani is in fact guiltless and had nothing to do with it, never will have anything to do with it. And there's, like I said, there's plenty, if we take the emotion out of it, because nobody wants this to be a problem. Let's be super honest. I think the entire sporting world is hoping that this is not, that he did not bet on baseball.
Yeah.
If that's the case, though, if we take the emotion out of it, then I think there's still plenty of history and precedent set and whatever to think either way, whichever way you want. It's not up to me to tell you how to feel. We're just giving you ideas.
That's right.
And in this case, there's a couple of ideas you can have, and it's up to you to decide. So tell us, though. Tell us what you think. We want to know. Jump in the comments. Brad, I'm going to move on to Paul Skenes because this is unbearably happy news, honestly. I just can't even contain myself. Because we have been talking about Paul Skenes coming up to the majors for weeks and weeks now. We are not even Pirates fans, and we are pumped about
a little bit, but
yeah, we want them to do well because they are perennially the underdog, and that makes us unsettled.
Only have the coolest moniker in baseball, let's be honest.
Okay.
That's what it is with me.
I don't know if I can say that, but it is super cool. I don't know if it's the cool. I'm a Yankees fan. I have to be elitist.
I understand that.
Okay. Anyway,
it's like the more hardcore version of mine. I got the Mariners, and then you got the Pirates.
Right. So. Which is why you like the Marauders.
Exactly right.
Yeah. For the same reason.
Yeah.
It's sort of a neutral in between. Way to go. Okay. Paul Skenes is considered a generational talent. He's already a superstar. He hasn't even made it to the majors, but he will on Saturday. He's going to make his MLB debut Saturday. It will be at PNC Park. He's going to play against the Cubs, and the world will be watching, I think is the accurate way to put it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think the baseball world will be watching. It's not quite like I don't feel like it's as big of a debut as it's not like, oh, Ohtani's debuting, where the world literally will be watching, right?
Okay.
Because he is highly touted, obviously, a highly touted prospect. He went to LSU, where they obviously developed him into this machine that he has become. Yeah. And his pitching ability is the next level of the next level. But this is the thing that I worry about with him, though, is that like in the minor leagues, how many guys throw 103 with control and then how many guys can hit it? But you get to the big leagues, and they've said, like, there's a saying that says that if you fire a bullet enough times into the strike zone for a big league hitter, he'll hit
Yeah.
it.
They'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll time it up and they'll hit it. And so if you're putting 103 even on the edges, like, it's hard to hit, but they're gonna hit it.
They'll get pieces of it at
Yeah,
least.
he's gonna get touched up far more than he did in the minor leagues. So he's not
I
gonna be
agree.
unhittable like he was in the minors, like we talked about this year. In 7 games, he's got a .99 ERA, and that's
Yeah.
27.1 innings pitched. Yes, I have the stats in front of me. I don't know this off the top of my head. A .91 whip,
Whip.
right?
0.91.
But this is the thing, though, is that he's less than a year removed from college. Is why this
Yeah.
to me is like mostly big news, because how often do you see teams keep their guys like lower in the minors to really stretch them out for the big league season? They're just like, you've got nothing else to show us in the minor leagues. Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, I think they did stretch him out as long as they could. I think they
Yeah.
kept him down 7 games this season when he could have had a spot right out of camp in March.
Right. And I still think that they wanted to stretch him out more for the
It's the
big
right
league
choice.
schedule for like an actual big league,
Yeah.
like as an actual big league starter, rather than just bringing him in and being like, let's have him go like 4 innings, you know?
No.
So
He was pitching 7 innings in the last few outings. You know, he's pitching 7 in
Yeah,
AAA.
they've stretched him out as much as
Yeah.
he needs to be. So
Yeah.
I think he's going to be good to go. I'm going to be watching though for sure, just because you got to see what it's all about.
Yeah. Let me show you what it's all about really quick. I have one of those 7-inning games. I've got video footage.
We're going to watch the whole thing right now?
Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah, let's do it. Push play,
Okay.
Brig.
So here he is, Paul Skenes. In case you didn't know, he wore the number 10 then. Here's a slider. There's a changeup. There's his fastball. There's his fastball. Look at him painting those corners.
Yeah, he's painting the edges with that thing. Dang.
Holy crap. So in this game, he went 6 innings and struck out 7. No big deal.
So a lot of guys who throw
April
103 will rely heavily on that fastball, like Chapman did for a long time, or Aldis Chapman did for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then he got that slider that was really working for him. And then he went really heavy slider, and we all saw how that worked out for him.
Mm-hmm.
But if he can figure out a way to mix in the slider and the heat and the changeup,
that changeup, I think, is the difference maker. I think he probably didn't use anything but a slider, kind of a half slider, and a really good fastball in college. I'll bet that carried him through college.
I have to, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then he got to the minors, and they were like, "Dude, you need a third pitch. Like, you're going to need,
especially if you're going to be a starter." Yeah, because you can't go twice, 3 times through the order and just throw the same 2 pitches.
No,
because you're going to get rocked, especially that third time through the order.
Exactly. So anyway, his changeup and his junk, right, his off-speed stuff clocks in around 84, and then he goes all the way up to 103 and change with his four-seamer.
So, last thing on this for me, it's crazy to think that his changeup is 84, because I was watching the Rockies and the Giants today, and they're talking about how everybody's just throwing so much harder these days. The average speed of the fastball in Major League Baseball is like 93 to 94 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say in the mid-90s, it was 89.
I was just going to say that. I had the same thought.
Whoa.
I remember when 95 was like rocket fire. 96, 97.
Yep.
That was
and
crazy.
It's like, and a dude touches 100, and you're like, whoa.
You're like, dude,
that never happens.
Yeah.
And then Randy Johnson's up there throwing 102 at 6'10", where based on what they say about Logan Gilbert, that's probably playing at 109, 110.
Yeah.
When he's throwing the gas.
Well, and Skenes is what, 6'6"?
He's a tall dude.
He's tall. I don't have his height right here in front of me.
He's a big fella.
He's a big
6'6".
Yeah, I was going to say 6'6".
6'6",
so, Brad, my question for you is...
We'll call him Haas.
My question for you is, how many innings does he pitch? How many strikeouts does he earn in his first start on Saturday?
I'm going to say he goes 5 2/3 with 7 strikeouts. Let's write these down. Shall
Okay. Yep. So you said 5 2/3 with 7.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to give him 6 1/3, and he's going to K 6. 1 per inning.
Okay. So you said 6 1/3?
6 1/3 with 6 Ks.
And I said 5 2/3 and
With 6.
7.
7. You said 7. Yeah.
Okay. We'll revisit this on the big show
Prepare
next
to
week.
lose, Brad.
No, I don't.
Baseball
prepare to lose.
family, we want you jumping in the comments right freaking now to tell us what you think is going down, because we should do some sort of betting pool or some.
I was going to say the person who nails it gets a sticker.
There you go. Yeah, if you nail it, you get a sticker. All right, Willson Contreras. Let's move on. Willson Contreras. Willson Contreras. We love him. Fractured his arm on a swing by JD Martinez. So this year, the Cardinals had Contreras move closer to the plate to get more calls on low strikes. This is happening across the league. Catchers are moving closer to the plate. Batters are moving farther back in the box.
Because of the gas is being thrown.
Because of the gas and the spin and all the velo and everything. It's just they need a little bit more time to catch up to the ball and to even just pick it up, right?
Yeah.
So then catchers are moving closer to the plate to handle it, but also to frame the pitches, honestly. Right? If the closer.
Yeah, so yeah, if you're just a touch closer to the plate, you're catching the ball, it's just a touch higher on the low strike, so it's easier to bring it up into the zone to frame it. So you are more likely to steal strikes if you're closer to the plate. But this is what happens. Look at this. JD Martinez as well is like notorious for being way far back in the box all the time.
For sure.
So there's what you saw on the broadcast. Here's the replay. Oh. Man, and it wasn't even his backswing.
No.
Right? Like there's the problem is that it was like full bore going for the ball. And so JD Martinez said he said you're expecting to hit a ball and you hit an arm and you're like, what was that? I hit meat. I felt I hit meat. I didn't hit just a glove. I can't read tonight. Where you point back at the catcher, it was solid, dude. I hit him good, and when I got to first, I felt terrible. And I would understand that. Like
for sure.
That would feel terrible to hit a dude like that.
Especially now he's got a broken arm.
He's got to have surgery and everything, probably have a plate put in there.
Yeah, he probably will. So it was on a 2-1 pitch, the top of the second on Tuesday, if you're wondering about that. But even Willson Contreras came out and said he doesn't really blame JD Martinez. Says it's just a risk of playing catcher.
Yeah, and I get that. Like, I'll never forget my first year playing catcher. I got called for catcher's interference like 3 times in one game. It was early in the season. It was like I was learning the position. The first time I got hit in the glove, and the umpire's like, "Your hand okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then like 3 or 4 batters later, he's like, "You all right?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" And he's like, the bat hit your head on the way, like as the batter was swinging. And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even feel it." You know, like, oh, maybe I lost consciousness there for a minute, but apparently the kid had a really long swing, like he wasn't taken to the ball and just like really drug it through the zone.
Oh, it's funny.
Smacked me in the head with his bat.
That's absolutely hilarious.
But so this is the thing too, though, is that like Willson Contreras has been hit before. Remember last year he got hit by Ian Happ, got smacked on his but it was on his backswing. And so I don't know if they're gonna like have him move back or if he's just gonna be like you said, it's the risk of playing the position. But man, he was so close. Look at this again. Like look at the second angle here. Like his glove is like JD Martinez's back knee.
Yeah.
Oof. Like
it's really bad.
I hope he looks at the tape and says, "Yeah, I was way too close there." Because something I used to do was if there was a guy who was way back in the box, and sometimes you get an umpire who would crowd you and wouldn't let you scoot back. Like I even talked to umpires I was like, "Hey, this guy's like way back in the box. Can I get an extra like 6 inches?" He's like, "Nope, I like to be where I am." I'm like, okay, so I would actually, instead of holding my glove out in front, I would bring it back into my chest a little bit, and it sucked. I hated receiving it that late because it's hard to move around. But like that was my adjustment personally to when guys did that. So I don't know what he's going to do. Hopefully he has a chance to move back a bit though.
Do you think that you should get a tax break by hanging around that umpire so close?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. All right, baseball family, don't forget to like and subscribe to the show. Rate and review us wherever you can. If you're on YouTube, that's the easiest place. It's also the most helpful. But if there are other ways that you would like to support the show, the easiest way is to check us out on Patreon. We have 5 tiers of support. You just go to patreon.com, search baseball together. We have tiers of support at $1, $5, $10, $15, and a $500 tier of support, which is our favorite, and it will be yours too. So go on there, check it out, see what promises we're making there, because they are worth your while, even if you just need a giggle. And once you turn around, you can support us in other ways too. So those are the best ways. Let's get into the national TV broadcast schedule for the weekend. Everything we run down here is in Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time or whatever.
That's right.
Part of the Earth.
Eastern Daylight, Brig. Eastern Daylight.
Nobody cares, Brad. Okay.
I do, because
figure it out.
Where I live.
Figure it out. That's what I said. All right. MLB TV's free game of the day on Friday is
every game on MLB TV this weekend is free.
It is.
Yeah.
Free.
Yep. Yeah,
I
went and looked at the schedule, and everything was covered. Free game. As if it's not on Apple TV or ESPN, it is, or actually Fox. You can watch Fox games on ESPN or on
you can on Apple
on
MLB TV.
On MLB TV. Yeah, whatever network. You can watch the one games on MLB TV.
Yeah,
so they'll be there. They're all free.
But the Apple TV Plus games you can't watch on MLB TV on Friday. That is D-backs at Orioles 7:05, Royals at Angels 9:38 p.m. Those you have to get on Apple TV Plus on Friday.
That's right. Yeah. And then Saturday, FS1 has the Braves at 4:10 p.m. The Braves at the Mets at 4:10 p.m. And Fox has the Reds at the Giants at 7:15. Or the Cardinals at the Brewers at 7:15. You can either check your local listings there, or you can head over to MLB TV and watch whichever one you want.
You totally can.
So that'll be neat. In fact, if you live in Milwaukee or St. Louis, you'll be able to watch that game because it's on Fox.
It's pretty cool.
No blackouts.
I don't understand.
There shouldn't be blackouts anyway.
I know there shouldn't, but there have been for as many years as I can remember. So it's kind of breaks my brain when you don't have to worry about it,
Yeah. Yep.
In all the right ways.
Yep.
Did you tell them about MLB TV?
Every game for free.
It's weird, right? Okay.
It's awesome.
Sunday.
I mean, they do these. They do these weekends a couple times a year.
Yeah. But it's just when it comes up, I'm like, oh, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Sunday.
It was a little jarring at first.
Every game but the ESPN game on MLB TV is also free on Sunday. Okay. ESPN's game is Braves at Mets 7:10 p.m. That's it. This is a big weekend for baseball. Go out and watch you some baseball.
Yeah. That Mets and Braves series is going to be fascinating to me because the Braves have not done well of late, and the Mets could really use an opportunity to capitalize on that.
Yeah,
and gain some ground in the division. But also the Braves could be like, okay, turn it on, turn it around, no more fooling around. Let's get going on this, right?
Yeah, it's totally true.
So I think that this series, and I know it's the middle of May, I do think that it is going to be a significant point in the trajectory of both teams going forward.
Interesting.
Is my opinion. That's one of my series to watch this weekend.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
So,
what else are you watching this weekend?
I'm watching the Mariners and the A's, of course.
Yeah.
But for a lot of reasons. First off, the Mariners lost a series to the Twins this week. They had a 4-game series. They dropped 3 of those games. And also, the A's are fascinating. They're absolutely fascinating. The Mariners have dominated them over the last couple of years. So I don't know. This A's team feels like a little bit different animal than they have. So I don't know how it's going to go. The Mariners offense the way that it is. So we'll see.
No, dude.
We'll see.
This A's team is blowing my mind right now. I have
And the thing is, it's not like they're going to contend for the division or they're contend for anything. But the fact that they're hovering around 500 because they've barely been a 300 team.
Yeah.
Previously. So
yeah. All I can say is huzzah. It's pretty exciting to watch the A's right now, even with them, Even we were expecting them to be abysmal, so anything is good, right? Anything better than that.
I mean, we thought they would be like White Sox bad.
Yeah,
right?
White Sox bad.
Because the White
Rockies
Sox are on
bad.
pace to lose like 120 games.
Yeah, it's
Something like that.
Dude, they would break all kinds of records doing that.
Yeah, they would.
So
What series
I
you got
will
this
obviously, I'll be watching the Yankees play the Rays for a number of reasons. The Yankees just beat on the Astros. I mean, they lost today, but it was a 4-3 loss. But 2 out of 3 games where the Yankees scored like, I don't know, 7,000 points against Houston. I was feeling pretty good
And by
about
points,
that.
you mean runs?
Yeah, runs. Thanks. Okay, it's been a long day, Brad. Just give him a
Hey,
tug.
I'm just making sure. I don't want the people in the YouTube comments to blow you up for that, Brig.
You're right.
I got your back.
Thanks, bro.
Because the people in the YouTube comments can be brutal.
Yeah, they can. Yep. And that's fine. Come at us. It's okay. All right. So I'll be watching that. You know, my kids call them points. That's what's happening. I'm coaching 8U softball, and all them like little
You
girls.
got to correct them every
they're
time.
like points, 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 and I'm like runs. But
Yeah.
you can only
Because they got to
escape so
learn.
much
They got to
points.
learn.
They do. Anyway, I'll be watching the Yankees. I think anytime the Orioles are playing this season, it's going to happen. Saturday, not necessarily tomorrow, but Saturday, I'll be watching the Pirates Cubs.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
Everything
definitely.
else, honestly, I'd love to see what Detroit does versus Houston.
That's going to be an interesting series.
It's going to be really
Because
interesting.
we're going to talk about Houston on the big show next week.
Yeah.
Because their GM said some stuff that's really interesting, and I need some time to like put some stuff
We
together.
need to
for it.
really go into it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that will be an interesting series to watch.
Those are the ones that I'm most excited about.
You want to give us this day in baseball history, Brig?
I sure do. Pull up the image. I found our guy.
You found our guy.
I found our guy. May 9th, 1871. The first Hispanic player in Major League Baseball is Esteban Enrique Bayon. The 21-year-old Cuban infielder plays for the Troy Haymakers of the National Association. There you go.
That's outstanding.
Today
I love
in baseball history.
I love that card too. That's super cool.
Isn't that awesome? It's
Yeah,
a baseball photographic card.
Yes. By ARS Longa. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Ars Longa? I don't know. Anyway, that's cool.
That's
I think that's a
number 8.
neat little factoid. But baseball family, if you're looking for other ways to support the show, don't forget to head over to ChinookSeedery.com where you can use code BTPod at checkout to get 10% off your order and support the show, support your mouth, because these are really the best seeds ever. My favorite flavor these days, Brig, the last 4 days in a row, I have eaten lemon pepper, and they're outstanding. Brig's favorite flavor, always and forever, though, will be Parmesan pepper or Parmesan pep, as we call it.
I got some lemon pepper, though. We went on a road trip. I happened upon a Buc-ee's. Nobody else in my family had ever been to a Buc-ee's. I said, we're stopping. You have to have this experience. While we were there, I did not find the Chinook seeds. My fiance said, hey, look. And she knows I love them. She went and grabbed a big old bag. And there was cinnamon toast and lemon pepper. And I got them both. I'd never had them. Now I've had them. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. And those fireworks and everything.
Huzzah.
Those cinnamon toast too are outstanding. I love those ones so much.
Yeah, that was a really different. The salty sweet for me was really different.
Those are my
I
other
enjoyed it a
favorites.
lot.
They're outstanding. But baseball family, thank you again so much for joining us. We will catch you on the big show next week.